Yo, 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 what's going on? It's the NRW, where nerds rule the world. It's your boy, Kuyapi, aka Patrick Michael Strange, and I am back again talking about Disney Plus's amazing Marvel Studios series of shows. Now we have Hawkeye, and I have the Amazing from the Amazing Comic Shop, formerly of the Amazing Comic Shop, my good friend Heather Hertz, to rock this with me. I promise you we'll do a lot more. I know we were doing like Why the Last Man, and we've got a lot of catching up to do on that one. But we will deliver all 6 episodes. And actually, we'll cover the first 2 episodes right now of Hawkeye. But before we break down episode 1 and 2 of Hawkeye, let me show you the trailer right now for Marvel Studios Hawkeye. Here we go.
This is the first Christmas we've had together in years.
I love you guys. I'm making up for some lost time.
Authorities are wondering if the masked vigilante who terrorized the city's underworld is back.
The past has caught up with me.
Should we be worried?
No, it's nothing. I'll be home for Christmas. I promise.
It's the most wonderful time.
When I wore this suit, I made a whole lot of enemies.
You're a Hawkeye!
Who the hell are you?
Some people have actually called me the world's greatest archer.
Are you one of those people?
It's the most wonderful.
Hey, babe, I should be back in a day or 2. Hang on a second.
With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling.
Things have gotten more complicated.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the most wonderful time. Yes, the most wonderful.
This is too dangerous. Definitely not this one.
You don't have to say definitely like that. Holy shit! There are arrows more dangerous than that
Oh, it's just some Christmas.
Boom, there you go. The trailer for Marvel Studios Hawkeye premiering on Disney Plus on November 24th. You see my good pal, the amazing Heather Hurt. She's on the screen. There you go. Everyone, super happy to see you, homie. Again, we will do our best to deliver all the Hawkeye reviews. Unlike, I'll blame it on me. I've been caught up on our Why the Last Man reviews, but we'll follow up with the Why the Last Man, we promise, as well as BKV on Saga because it's returning, and maybe some wrestling too. We almost got sidetracked a second ago as we were doing this because there's just so much stuff that Heather and I love together, and I could just talk all day with Heather. So anyway, we're gonna get on track now. Disney Plus Hawkeye. We actually had an advanced look on the series. Shout out to Disney for hooking us up with that. And so yeah, as of this recording, when this comes out, I think you guys will be getting episode 1 on November 24th. I think we get to drop this a little bit earlier, so you may have to wait a little bit, but we just want to give you a little bit of insight what we thought. And so I'm going to toss it over to Heather with a breakdown on the story, what we got in episode 1 and 2.
Okay. So episode 1 and 2, we are basically starting right at the end of what would be the timeline of Black Widow coming to a close, that extra scene there at the end. Clint has decided to take a small break. He's enjoying the holiday with his family, something he hasn't been able to do in literally 5 years. And he kind of gets stuck. And this is where that hashtag spoiler comes in. That life that he once led is starting to catch up with him, right, of course, when he's getting comfortable again. You have Kate, who the spoiled little rich girl who is perfect at almost everything except being, a good, like a positive role model. She's just a huge mess, in a good way. She finds herself in a predicament that brings the character of Ronan who we haven't seen since Endgame, brings that character back in sort of accidentally. She takes up that mantle sort of accidentally, and she picks up a Puppers on the way and picks up Clint on the way after that. So that's kind of where we are. Clint is currently, Clint has just found the Ronin costume, and we're trying to figure out where he's going with that at the end of episode 2.
Yes. So that was one. That was both 1 and 2, right?
That was 1 and 2. Yeah.
Okay. And it was so good, and you avoided spoilers. So and we actually
tried.
We're gonna do that. So I think we did good. I tried. We didn't reveal some big ones that I saw on my list too while you were talking. So I was like, all right. Oh. And we didn't discuss it. So you know what? Spoiler-free review, y'all. We're doing good for y'all because again, you guys aren't going to see this until the 23rd when it drops. So let me break down some of the characters that we're seeing right now. As we know and love, the amazing Jeremy Renner is back as Clint Barton. Of course, you really can't have Hawkeye, or at least the guy who's maintained the mantle that we've known with all these MCU films without having Jeremy Renner. And since he also isn't the one that fell, spoilers, but y'all should already know about this. It was Black Widow that sacrificed herself. So Jeremy Renner is still alive as Clint Barton. Yes, he is back. And the new Hawkeye, quote unquote, especially if you're comic fans, you know her as one of the Hawkeyes, Kate Bishop, played by the lovely Haley Steinfeld. She's on Dickinson, I think, as well on like Apple TV, if I'm not mistaken. Right.
Most people will know her from Pitch Perfect #2. If you don't see her, she's in Pitch Perfect. That was her
being in Pitch Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, she was in the second one. So if you haven't seen a lot of her like current stuff, which is really really good, yeah. Pitch Perfect #2. Y'all will remember. Don't worry.
I just remembered she also was in Bumblebee.
That's right. She was
in Bumblebee. I enjoyed her in Bumblebee. And wasn't she like a Disney kid too, if I'm not mistaken?
She might have. I think she's been in a few shows and or movies. Okay. Like I don't think this is her first Disney project now.
Yeah, but she's amazing. I think I've she's kind of been, we've seen her grow on the screen, and I think she does an amazing job as Kate Bishop. So shout out to Haley Steinfeld, and also FYI, she's a mixed kid like me. She's a Filipino and white, and so I was happy to see her get that. And for us mixed kids, love to see that. Also, Vera Farmiga. I think I'm messing up her last name. Is it Vera Farmiga? Heather?
It might be Farmiga. It might be Farmiga.
Okay.
I think it's with the hard G. I think so.
Yeah. Well, she's an amazing actress. I've seen her in a lot of films as well. She plays Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mom, in the series. So it was good to see her, big time actor. Again, they get some amazing character actors in this. Linda Cardellini is back as Clinton Barton's wife, Laura Barton. We also have, let me see, going through this list here, because I'm not sure which ones I can say. Nathaniel Barton, Cade Woodward. Cade Woodward plays Nathaniel Barton, another of the Barton kids. And I can probably say this because it is on IMDb. But there are some names I'm actually seeing of who we saw in the series that's not on here. So that helps me with not spoiling. So since the name's here, Florence Pugh, we saw her be introduced in the Black Widow series. She is back, since seeing her in Black Widow as Yelena Belova. Natasha Romanoff, we know as Scarlett Johansson in the Black Widow series, is back in this series. So she's in there. Although I think we can say this already, because this isn't a spoiler. Would it be a spoiler if we say if she was in episode 1 or 2? What do you think?
I mean, I don't think it would be, because she's not. So
there we go. Okay.
she's not. But we know that she's coming, so that's exciting.
What we can say and not say, because as y'all know, again, my apprehension, and I was talking with Heather about this. If y'all, as Marvel fans, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. I'm sure you've seen all the Spider-Man away from home stuff that's been posted online, and everybody's like, in a rush to show stuff up and be the first out there with stuff. And it's and there's been spoilerific things going along with that. And then if you've been following Eternals, the latest film release right now, the biggest film release outside of the Disney Plus stuff, there was stuff that came out about that. So as people that cover this thing that we love, pulp culture and Marvel Studios, I just don't want to get in trouble, y'all. I want to be able to still deliver this stuff along with Heather and have fun. But so there you go. Those are the characters. Let me bring up Heather and I both now on the screen. If you want to check out IMDb. But those are the main characters that right now at present. And I will say, without spoiling, there are actors that are in episodes 1 and 2 that we did see that are not on this list. So there's a teaser to make you go watch it, because Disney is killing it. They're giving us this great product, and I want y'all to check it out. So let's give our review, Heather. What did you think of episode 1 and 2 coming back into the Disney Plus? You know, we had kind of a break with the What If series in between Loki and this. So they went to like the animated route, and now we're back to the live action. Do you think this was another great installment back into there? Oh, what's up?
Well, no, it's so by the day that we are recording this, by the way, Disney just announced What If season 2, and so that is awesome. Really excited to have that back.
Yes.
So the big number one thing that we need to confirm, because I know a lot of people deep in their hearts that they're only concerned about one true thing, and Pizza Dog is amazing. He lives up to his, I believe it's a female dog in real life, but Pizza Dog is done well. All of y'all can relax. Once again, it's like, I know it's like 75, 85% of the audience are just concerned about Pizza Dog. Don't worry, you're good.
Us dog lovers. It's probably the cat people. It's the cat people. And I love cats too. Shout out to my cat people, but they're probably the ones like, you know what, really?
No, they're the ones that there's, but a little bit of trigger warning, no. It is part of Pizza Dog's character. It is part of Lucky's growth. But the way that he's found, once again, spoiler, if you haven't read the comic or if you haven't seen the show yet, one of the big reasons he's brought in is because of animal abuse. So if y'all, it's literally very, very minor. They do it very well in the show, but just a heads up. But other than that silly little joke, that's not a joke. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yes. And I see you rocking the holiday sweater. I love that. I was about to do
Got
that,
it up.
but I was like, let me pull out the Hawkeye hoodie that I had to show love as well. So, yeah, well, to add to like story and characters, we'll mix that up with our review. I really enjoyed it. And again, it got you as you're wearing the holiday sweater. For me, as I was watching it, action stuff, and I put it out as a tweet, it reminded me of Die Hard. And to me, Die Hard's a classic. And for a lot of people that, you know, that argue, is Die Hard like a Christmas film? Yes and no. And,
it's a Christmas film.
No, had like
no conversation.
Are you where do you lie on that argument?
There's no argument. It's a Christmas film.
There we go.
I am not Christian in any way, shape, or form, and it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I don't care what Bruce Willis says. It is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, to me it goes. It can fit in both, and so that for me is what reminded me of Hawkeye as I was watching it, and kind of like its makeup and fashion, because we've seen Hawkeye go through a lot of stuff. We've seen John McClane go through a lot of stuff in Die Hard, so that's kind of like the vibe, the energy I have. But then there's like quirky, familial things. There's just a lot of different elements within Die Hard. If you're a fan of Die Hard and you digest it, like because they made subsequent ones. But just like that feeling of and desire to overcome the adversary, family, reasons why you get pushed down, you get back up. And that's kind of like where Hawkeye, Clint Barton is. We've seen him fight Thanos. And there's a cool little line in there at a certain event that happens that I just laughed my ass off. I was smiling from ear to ear.
You better be doing that professionally after the series. He can retire and just do said thing that we won't spoil, but he had fun, and he better be doing that for the rest of his life.
What did you smile and when that went down, when that whole event happened?
Absolutely. Are you a LARPer at all? Have you ever LARPed before? Nope.
I have not. Actually,
no, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Actually, we did see that in the trailer. You know what? If there's certain scenes in the trailer that happened, we can say we can say that happened in episode 1 and 2. that happened, but we'll be a little bit more careful. It's all good. I have not gone to a regular LARP of actually. There's been LARP events at conventions and shows I've been to, and I've taken part a little bit in that. But like one where it's been off in the woods, like that most people do and go and do that. Like that's the day of it. I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
But that was cool, and that was a great line.
Good line.
Amazing.
Good line.
Just the spirit of it. Another thing from the trailer. You know what? I'll go ahead since you did one. I'll do one, but it's not bad. That Rogers musical that a lot of people were talking about, that when that popped up in the trailer, that happens in episode 1. They attend that event, and there's a song that's sung that now it's escaping me, but it's a quote of one of our favorite characters that they interpreted into song, and I just thought that was lovely. But then also, if you're a superhero and if you've experienced that, you may not be too entertained. And so, but there's a lot of great moments. And, we may have to come back and do a spoiler review on this. But because this is more difficult, so than we already have. This is difficult, y'all. But what other things that you really hate? So obviously Pizza Dog grabbed your attention.
Mm-hmm. Of course, he's him and his pizzas. It's all that's important. The moment where she's doing the thing in the apartment to kill two birds with one stone. I thought that was really cute. To support her new puppy. One thing that I did that really stood out to me, and if you are a comic book fan, this is something that's going to really change your perspective. So one of the big books that most people keep pointing out, and it's the main theme, it's the main logo, is the Matt Fraction and David Asia comic book series. This is a very, very loose version of kind of that in the Kelly Thompson series. But one thing that we do see is there is a story that explains where Clint loses his hearing. And that has been a big thing. That's not a spoiler. They've been talking about that for almost 2 years, that you will see that he is now hard of hearing. But they did change that origin. And what's going to be surprising to you is how much they changed it and how that impacts the relationship between him and one of the primary villains, who was literally just introduced in the second film. Or not second film. Wow, we're already talking about movies here, apparently.
All good.
Second episode. He wasn't just introduced, but the character itself was really displayed in the second episode. But they were in the comics. They have a relationship that goes back literally to Clint's childhood. In the show, they will not, or potentially, you never know. It's only the first 2 episodes. But that was a really nice little take. I did appreciate how they kind of twisted it to explain his disability, and they're also coming forward and saying that it is part of him, it is part of his life, and it's nice to see that on screen.
Oh yeah. And so going back to my John McClane reference, that that's kind
of
walking
on glass.
That. Yeah. So that I think that's great. I love that they did that. And as a guy who's getting older, I'm seeing different parts. I actually had in another podcast I did, and we tell everybody, we as older as males, as we get older, we don't like to go to the doctor. I don't like to go to the doctor. But if your body tells you something, listen to it. Take care of your brothers and sisters and everybody. Just if you feel it, go in. So enough of my soapbox, but I think that's a good element to show that how it can disable us, and by putting it in this fashion, it'll speak to that and just remind us that we're not as invincible as we think we are. Get yourself checked out. So there you go. I'll get off my soapbox. But so we get a new character introduced, a new villain. But we didn't spoil it for y'all, but that happens in the second episode. But there's also a classic character that is a character in the series. I won't spoil it. But when I looked up the name after they said the name several times, it was this classic character that I was a big fan of growing up when I read the comics. So just another kind of teaser for you guys on that one.
I think you and I are talking about the same character, not the character at the end of episode 2. The one. No, not the one at the very end of episode 2.
No.
we don't even know who that is yet. No, the character whom you are talking about, that is a character in David Asia's origin story, and Matt Fraction's origin story, that he has got a full rewrite, and I actually completely forgot about it until I reread the
We
comic.
may have to talk offline because we're being very careful right now. I thought there was a character she was talking about, which I know is at the end of episode 2, but there was a character in episode 1 that a couple characters actually that are from the classics that are before that run that you're talking about.
They rewrote, so Matt Fraction and David Asia rewrote his origin with Clint.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come offline. So, people watching this, we're sorry. Being careful. We're trying to give you as much inside info that we can, but without spoiling and keeping our Disney friends happy. But
that also means that this is really good. Like we want to talk about it that much. Like we really, really, really do.
Yeah. So we enjoyed it. I think that our review is we enjoyed it. There's a lot of amazing moments, a lot of stuff that take you back throughout the time period, stuff we've already seen in the universe. There's some cool comic tie-ins, as you say, like with Pizza Dog. And we said that the Ronin costume is back. That was kind of like the big thing in episode 1. Actually, it's kind of the recurring theme in the first 2 episodes. That's kind of the arc that carries us through in the first 2 episodes is the costume, the Ronin costume, the Ronin sword, the Ronin blade. Does the blade have does his blade, his Ronin sword, have a specific name? Did he ever call it something? Was that like?
I think it did. It will not. I don't have it off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I mean, like he was Ronin in the comic books for an extended period of time. So it not having a name would be stranger than if it did, or if it having a name would. Something like that. It should have a name. It's a comic book character. It probably has a name.
Let's talk about Kate Bishop a little bit. Let's talk about Haley Seinfeld. Because we talked, quite a bit about Clint Barton, Jeremy Renner. What did you think of her and kind of like the origin that was presented? How much did it mirror the comic books? Because I'm not too familiar with her comic origins. I know she was a member of the Young Avengers here and there. What did you gather from of it? And to me, I think before you say anything, was a lot of what we saw in the opening credits, the title credit in the opening. Was that to their way to kind of explain a little bit? Because that's kind of how I felt. Because it kind of just throws you in there a little bit. It's absolutely. So Kate really just became a superhero to be like her hero, to be like her favorite hero. So is this exactly her origin? No. But are we expecting it to be exactly her origin? Of course not. It's the MCU versus the comics. But I think that how they transitioned it and how they kind of rewrote, once again, it's not far off, how they rewrote her story and they really told it through that opening. That was really, really great. I loved the art of the opening sequence with her origin. Yeah, even that was amazing. Like you were saying, the David Aja, and like the art as you see behind me that I have is my background. A lot of the stuff they've been doing, the marketing material. Can we talk about what was the first poster they put out? This holiday season, the best gifts come with a bow. Can that guy just get all the money? We're talking about Hawkeye. We're releasing it for the holiday season. That's kind of like the best one-liner there. The holiday season, the best gifts come with a bow. Props to you, whoever wrote that.
The puns in the puns that are all around this show have been pretty on point. They are pretty on point.
There you go. On point. I love it.
They just come naturally.
This episode 1 and 2 put a big smile on my face. Without spoiling, what are other, from you knowing some of the titles, from the comic side of things, is there anything you hope to see, especially with maybe that mixture of the two kind of characters we're being careful on talking about, that may pop up, and we can say it because we know the comic book without saying film wise, that you hope may translate into this if it pops up?
So honestly, I just want to see where they're going to go with, once again, I don't want to give away too much, but the storyline with the jumpsuits that came from specifically the Fraction Asia run, how that will translate into a full story, I am absolutely curious about. And of course, bringing back, it's her name's Yana. Never say her name.
Florence Pugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She, her coming back. I want to know when that's going to happen, because we know that she's coming and we know that things are about to hit ahead. But in the first 2 episodes, we've already been thrown 2 very, 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 very Hawkeye rogues villain characters. What's going to happen when we bring in a literal assassin?
Yeah.
From a comic book perspective, though, I think that they're just on point, and I'm very curious to see. I don't know. I want to see how far they'll go. One big thing that I can say that I feel comfortable saying when it comes to comic books, one of the big reasons we're bringing in Kate is all of those rumors about Young Avengers.
Yeah.
She was a team leader, and she's supposed to be the team leader. That's why they brought this out before Miss Marvel, because Miss Marvel will be on the Young Avengers. Blah blah blah. So seeing Kate grow into a true blue superhero and not just a fangirl, that will be absolutely a fun ride.
I feel that. And there's only 6 episodes of this, so we've seen 2 of the 6. That means only 4 episodes that they've got to do all of that. So it's kind of crazy what they're gonna do here. My biggest question before we finish this out, because I think we want to, because we just want to be very careful with what we're saying. So I think this question will suffice to just kind of just give a little bit more meat to this. As we know, Hawkeye was the one that survives. That's why we have a Hawkeye series. Black Widow is the one that sacrificed herself. But in this, so we have old Hawkeye, but we're introducing this new Hawkeye in Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop. And you said we kind of like, are we building towards the Young Avengers? Because we've had kind of some of these other characters introduced in some of the other series. And let's moving things forward. And obviously Renner's getting older. We're doing the whole, hearing aid thing. Do you think this is a Clint Barton swan song? Again, to maybe phase him out now in transition?
I do. Taking a moment back, did you see his post, Renner's post about Paul Rudd getting the Sexiest Man Alive award?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
So there's this really cute picture. Go onto Instagram. You know where to go now. We'll give you the link. But he has this really cute picture of Paul Rudd holding him from the back, all prom style. And he's like, from one old guy to an old guy that looks old to an old guy that doesn't look old. Or something like that. It was real cute.
Oh, cute.
But yes, I do think that one of the big things that will come out of this, and it might be season 2, we might not see that big clash that we saw from Black Widow. We might not see that until the end of this season, or even season 2, because there's just so much meat and potatoes that we have to complete with just the 2 characters that have already been introduced, for us to even think about that type of battle. But I do think that however far this series goes, that will be the end of Clint's story. I at least, once again, me. And we always knew that the one thing he always wanted to do is he wanted to retire to his farmhouse, be with his wife, and just live his life. Yeah,
that's my feelings exactly. And it kind of put it again, like, as for me watching it and comparing it to Die Hard, actually I'm compiling like all the Die Hards together as an experience. John McClane just wanted to chill out and retire, be done with this stuff, and just he gets put through the ringer and through the motions again. It's time for somebody to take up the mantle. And so I, as much as I love him as a character, his hearing's going bad. You have an amazing new person to take over the mantle. I kind of want to see him just chill out. So, all right. So you kind of feel the same way. Let's see what happens, what goes down. From 6, we have 4 more episodes for us, 6 for everybody else watching this. I hope we didn't spoil it for you guys. But we did our best. We wanted to kind of give you some nuggets, but also tell you to definitely check it out. Marvel is still killing the game. They're doing an amazing bang up job with this series. And Heather and I will be back with we may do a spoiler review one, or maybe we'll just wait for episode 3 and then kind of give you all our spoilers, because we'll all be watching episode 3 at the same time. And then we can just really have some fun. I think that's what we'll do. So Heather, how can they reach out to you and everything you're doing and your amazing self?
You can follow me on Twitter at Following Films or on Instagram at Heather_is_A_nerd. That's Heather as a nerd, all underscores, no spaces. And you can catch me doing work. I do lots of marketing work. You can find me on at Bunnies and Cream. We are a small business, a trans-owned business. They will be helping us out and doing some sponsorship for us too. Very excited to have them on. I do their marketing, so definitely check them out as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Check them out. And thank you, Heather. Please give her a follow. Follow Heather from Following Films. I got to come up with something snazzy about that. Love you so much. You're so amazing. Thank you for the insight. And I'm looking forward to when we can actually talk a little bit more and not worry.
I'm so bad, guys. I'm doing the Tom Holland thing. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we don't want to Tom Holland. We don't want to do a Tom Holland. Who's the new person that's spoiling? Angelina Jolie. She wasn't she spoiling quite a bit on Eternals, and then plus all the other journals that are out there, the other press that are doing stuff. We don't want to be like that. We want to keep those relationships and have fun with y'all. So for me, it's the Legend Kuyapi on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. Of course, here at the NRW and Avenue Rules Wednesday, Nerds Rule the World, and of course my Filipinx show, Show Pow Show, and the Nerds of Color. Until next time, we love y'all. Hit the mark with us. This Christmas is coming to you with a bow. I try to add all of those stuff in there, but I'm just bumbling. I'm just gonna shut up.
So excited.
We'll be on target next time. We're just so excited. Bye, y'all.